What's that? I'm seeing my footprints in the days prior. Richard Pryor. Steal. It's strange, Canada is alone, but England, if you could say that one country controls Canada and the United States, it's England, or the Bank of England, or the Royalty of England, the Masons, and Scotland, and the British Isles. You want to get owned as well. That's one good place to look. Go all the way along here last time. There's some white people there. Creepy white woman. You can just see where they're living. So whenever I found people who are sexual predators, they clearly, obviously, never think they are. And you'll see that they reserve the right to really control a narrative that includes how you should think about your own safety. So you would say that with a sexual predator, you're going to have a conflict of interest as to what would constitute an adequate provision for your voice, okay? Or their voice and theirs perspective as well, right? Like they want to be safe, as it were, sexually harassing you. And if they've done that a lot, which they have, right, they've rarely, if ever, been interrupted. Certainly not by someone like you. Because if you're someone they can sexually harass, you're not someone who can, as it happens. So these things combined go along and they live and breathe in full view of the public when nobody does anything. These are diseases. Diseases that are words, phrases, and ways that the sexual predator to control the narrative. that. Oh, people. It's like a really big pond, which is I think a French word. Here's it's a Vesica Pisca. Vesica Pisca. What do you do, Pisca? Is it a vagina that you miss? Vesica. Those people really have a problem looking at me. I think that could be wrong. Some people have this problem. They need to look at me too much, and I don't like it. Sorry. And I don't like it. Why should I like something that makes me feel bad? Oh, looks like a nice vagina. It looks like a nice vagina. I think I did a very good job with that vagina. If you don't get them, you've got to make them out of stone. I should hump it one day in the dark, just like come inside. What have I done, man? I really want to do interesting or Wiccan or satanic ceremony. Involve coming inside a circle on the beach. I had a circle of stones on the beach. It's dark out. I live on the beach. I just came out there and I was in my bare feet and I masturbated. It was glorious. And I came. And as soon as I orgasmed, this only happened once. I tried to repeat it. My feet, because the sand was like and the earth just sucked my body down. Just a little bit. I could feel the earth in my feet down. The energy exchange was profound. I must have done it at the right time. Or, I don't know, the right way. Who knows? Kind of thought, oh, that's interesting. And you kind of make a decision inside the circle or outside the circle. It's like, tonight I'm going to go inside, see what happens. There are interesting, as best as I can say, just energy dynamics that go on that we or I don't completely understand. And the manager I faced off with it 2 or 3 years ago, it was like a police officer. I literally came to the store one day, and this guy was basically coming up on me like a police officer. Cool, collected, and determined to control the narrative. And I broke defenses, and he fired a couple employees right away. But he couldn't fire himself, apparently. His hostility was off the charts, the compounded interest of what he's emulating and magnifying for 2 weeks, but with numerous complaints of hostility from the staff. It's incredible what this person, I have no doubt that he's been a police officer. I thought criminal, and now I think police officer. He's been a police officer at some point in his life. There's a reason why working in that food store all hours of the week is favorable to him compared to whatever else he's done in his life. That's his therapy, You imagine what he was like to people like me when he was wearing a uniform. That's why I've got the baton today. People like me. He wouldn't listen to me. He wouldn't even give me a chance to defend myself. Never informed me there was any charges against me in the store. Nothing. Just negative body language every day. No eye contact. He wanted one thing and one thing only. For me to find the door and never come back for him. Every fucking day. Right until the last moment I talked to him. Right until today. Nothing to do with you. But didn't say anything specific. Right? Passive aggression at its finest. That's what the police do. That's what they specialize in. right? Passive aggression. It doesn't require anything specific. You just have to have a certain kind of brain development and a lot of lower inhibitions about directing all kinds of belligerents and other human beings and convincing yourself in ways that work for you that nothing's happening. And if they have a problem, that's their problem because they probably deserve it. Right? Really? You got a problem? What's wrong with you that you have a problem? I'm a police officer. You shouldn't have a problem. Hey? You shouldn't have a problem with me. Right? Only criminals have a problem with me. Right? You can't ask these people to be normal. They're sexual predators the day they put on a uniform. They're fully fledged sexual predators. Right? They're never going to admit it. Right? Police, RCMP, and people like this guy Mike, they're fully trained sexual predators. Right? As necessary. Who is their meat is another story entirely. I was his meat. But I got him to do what I needed him to do. And he gave me what I needed at the end of the day, which was information. Right? I got him to spill the beans. Ultimately, he was a coward. I walked up to him. His body was shaking. This guy didn't have an ounce of truth in his body. His dick probably hadn't been working since his first day on the force. He didn't know what truth was. Just the kind of people they hire for the police. Because, lo and behold, look at all the magical thinking in the world. Human beings are very good at making reality into what they need it to be and making other people pay the price. The police are trained to do that very quickly to you with little to no provocation. Right? I watched a video of a guy who caught a police officer running through 2 red lights without his lights going. Incredibly dangerous, right? And he's talking to this sergeant and this guy, and they don't understand how dangerous it is. And they're just lying up their asses. I'm like, you just exposed younger people to death, mortality with their children, and they don't care. All they care is to get the cameraman to go away. Can I get your license? It's incredible. You know what you're seeing when you're watching this. These are sexual predators. Sexual predators slink around, and they always take professions where they have a lot of authority. They're teachers. They want you to watch TV and think, oh, it's just some random crappy, usually male. It's like, it's male, it's female. It might as well just be female because the males are female, right? Sexually predatory behavior is not an out-and-out female occupation, but it is a feminine occupation in so much as the feminine is bound, or has been bound, in service of the criminal justice system. Because, you're basically criminalized by your mother when you're born. You're born with a debt to society. Right? She was born with a debt to society. Right? And for a lot of these mothers, a lot of that debt's going to be paid with their children. That's what marriage is for. To give your children as payment of debt. Right? In the name of love. A perfect way to abuse your children. You get married. Let them enjoy the love that all these adults came to celebrate. See how that panned over the years. Such an incredible birth of love. What a sanctuary. What a holy institution, eh? The institution of marriage. That's the dirtiest fucking thing in the world. It's a whore. Give me you're poor, you're needy, you're pregnant, you're angry, people who've lost their fathers. Go find some poor man or woman to bang up with and make it legal, right? Ooh, you feel that, honey? We're legally married now. It's time to really, really get down with it. Ooh. I'm pretty sure that the conditioning of the school system and other culturally approved behavior is part of getting people to get married. I can't believe anyone does it. Like, where are your natural instincts? But my parents did it. I was never going to do it. Something about me just isn't wired that way. I think it's because I retained an awareness, helped by some children I knew who would tell me, like, you have a reason to afraid of girls, man, the way they treat you. This was smart young boys I went to school with, when I'm 8, 9 years old. They knew I had a reason to be afraid of girls. They could see the way they treated me, talked about me, right? I'm not too early, but it's usually normalized. I get It'll be normal for a while, and you'll see usually women with white hair just looking at me and they're frantically drooling, right? And they want my attention. Once they get my eyes, they're like, "Oh, thanks, honey." It's like consent. Consent is eye contact, basically, in their eyes. Lovely. That's perfect. Use my baton. Oh, so should we keep going, or this is my second round of the island? Oh, living in Augusta. I think I'll call my mom and make sure things. I'll put the camera down. Hang out here for a bit. It's not nearly as to be. It's not meant to rain. And over the years, I've learned that there's a prevalent evil in these certain areas, like that estuary where that weird man approached me. Areas, Parksville, places I've walked, there's a preponderance of creepy things that can happen. Almost like different people moved by the same spirit. And I said, yeah, they move by a central intelligence. Something will come at you through different people. It'll just, there are lots of people, lots of industrial schizophrenics. They seem like normal people, but why do they approach me? Why are they saying this? Why are they saying these things? And you can really wonder. Let's try this one. There we go. It's not working very well. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Oh, that didn't take long. It's kind of a novelty. Quick collar. Okay, I guess we'll wait. Wait on that. Well, things that I want to tell you, things I want to say, ways that I have felt real bad. Oh! Hello. Hi. Hi. You enjoying Heartland? You enjoying things? Good. Yeah, do it. Yeah, it's nice. It's still chilly, but it's getting a little better every day. Yeah. Good. Oh, good, good. I met one weird person in the park, but quickly, thankfully. Just a man trying to solicit me for some reason. So I just said, "You're giving me the heebie-jeebies, man. I'm moving on." I don't think he was a local. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's how I started my day with. And yeah, no, it's been good. A couple times around the island, but maybe one more time. And yeah, not just yeah. So, good. Well, have a good walk then. Yeah. Say hi to Buddy for me. All right. I'll probably be home by about 2. Okay. Bye. Yep. Yeah. Oh, did that? I always like to know. Check on my mum as well. I like to check on her. You know? You never know what crazy shit might go down while I'm not there. I worry about her. Not real hot. Oh. The more things happen to you, the more intelligent you get because you are dealing with it. Let's say you're sexually assaulted, or I'd say, dude, I don't like how you talk about yourself like you're always being victimized. You can see the same thing. There is an argument to be made that the victims of violent crime have still protected themselves. That in itself is nothing. That means nothing to a victim, but in a sense, like at some point in recovering from victimization, it's good to acknowledge what have you had a good day today? Did you get through the day and nobody hurt you? Great. That's a good day. So I'll go through the day. Hopefully I won't meet any more weird people. I'm done. Like I said, there's patterns, people and things. That's a weird male energy, and I've had weird male energy like that in this park. It's almost like channeling an evil spirit. There's a dark spirit that lives in the area. And it's basically like an egregor by the mentality of all the white people and the police that live in these areas. Okay? They're just white people are evil. And so you live anywhere, or there's enough evil in any area, and it takes the form of crime. It takes the form of creepiness. You know, it can start and like, hey, who knows how it started unless you're carrying a camera and you hear someone saying no 3 times and then saying fuck off, and all of a sudden something erupts. It takes courage to be free. People leave you alone when you're a child, if you could barely say that. As you get older. Anyway, no, it's nice to feel safe when you're out. To me, exposing yourself to the world is a job. It is. Because a job is God, and you're exposing your world to the industrial. You have to endure, no matter what you do, you're enduring the industrial world. That's your job as a human. To endure I am a good endurer of the industrial God. I will do what I'm taught, and I will get a job. Hey! So everyone's working. Whether you're at swimming lessons and you're 4 years old, or you're slaving away at a desk when you're 40, you're staving off the world. You're keeping the wolves at bay. But down deep, and here I'm getting a bit rhetorical, or more rhetorical than usual. Maybe there's something gnaws away at you. It's not a bad kind of thing. It's more like a really nice thing. It's like it comes from heaven. It's not like it's making a hole in you. It's just something about you that can grow, that comes for free from a totally heavenly place, that preserves everything that you were ever meant to be. And you think, maybe I could do more than this. Maybe I could be more than this. And maybe that part of me that's more than this, in me, in this kind of role, is already here, keeping me safe. The ultimate superhero, right? Enduring all this world, but something magical about you that you had when you were a child. And it comes out now and then, you know. Moments of nostalgia. That beautiful nostalgia is like floating in a recollection of the celestial biology of a child. That's what when people, adults, have nostalgia or even deja vu because of shock that was used to take a child and turn them into all the people in the world. So we're living around people who have been children that have been turned into what they are, and in particular in a world that doesn't respect that every philosophy you want to really know and everything you want to know can come from examining the voices of victims, yes, and how a child thinks. My greatest philosophy would be to tell you exactly how I think. You'd be amazed at how I think, and I'd be amazed at how you think. The knowledge of all the heavens and the earth is in how we think, as much as we have a dink and a vagina. How we think is a part of being the kind of person we were ever born to be. How you think. How do you think? How do I think? You want to know about my thinking? I'll show you my thinking. A video of it. And to tell you about my thinking, I can say anything I want, because everything I say bears forth the fruit of my thinking, the growth of my thinking, the bitter roots of my thinking, the branches of my thinking, the pain of my thinking, the stories of my thinking, right? Threats to my thinking, of my thinking. Oh, and all the kinds of glorious things about my race or your race or life as a whole, that through all of the stupidity that you might think I am, would be able to paint a picture of the fabric of the beauty and the strength of human thinking. Do you have time for that? Do you have time for that kind of thinking? Because thinking needs all the time in the world. And you know the kind of people that have all the time in the world? They're not the richest people in the world, although they use their time wisely. But because they treat their children so well, when you have the most time in the world, you want to have all the time in the world that you need to think and be as good as you can for your own flesh and blood. You need to have as much time to do that as a child, which is roughly all the time in the world. When you take your life and all the time of your life and make what a child could make out of the power of their minds by birth, what would a child make? We help make our heads, our legs, our arms. What else could we do? We made our mothers and fathers, didn't we? We made them. We created Adam. We made mommy and daddy. They became a mommy and daddy to us. We made them that. We were all born something. The first and critical role of man for all industrial insinuations is mommy and daddy and me. Mommy and daddy and me. And before you become a mommy and daddy and her or him, you are the child of a mommy and daddy. Understand how that story goes. Child of mommy, which is like a big deal. Child of daddy, which is a big deal. Child of mommy's and daddy's relationship, which is a big deal. Now child of mommy's and daddy's relationship to the world and the financial world and God and the church and all the parts of history, and you. And your mommy and daddy when they were a child and they had a mommy and daddy. So now there's 4 more people involved. And there's 10 more people involved. And it's like, you can just find a nation of people in your family tree with me. That nation of these people with me who all had a child, who all are mommy and daddy, 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 and had behavior that grew while they sustained the capacity to have all the time in the world. And a lot of them were raped when they were children. A lot of them, their brains were already handicapped by the time they were born. But they needed to be, because they'd already been put through so much pain in their mother's womb. And their mother's womb anticipated all kinds of agonies and creepy, barbaric languages as though a police officer or a prosecutor would use on their prey. Reversing, countering, deflecting, grinding, saying, hey, I know what all your defenses are going to be, and I've already fucked you. And with that confidence, the world pulls you out of your mother's womb and pulls you away from your mommy and pulls you away from your daddy out of love, because of medicine, because of what people do. It's good for them, don't worry. They need to prepare for a long life of working anyway. This will get them better acquainted with the world. And you're doing this and allowing this because you've been taught for generations, because it's been put into your behavior, and because your parents and their parents allowed you or couldn't avoid allowing you to enter into a kind of unholy shock, a fracture of the mind, a dislocation of a primal level of conscience through all societies in the world that has been predicted, groomed, used, and exploited by witches and the royalty who control the world. Through the military systems, cultural systems, mutual systems, education, you name it, language, all languages, right? Body language. They've trained you through theater, they've trained you through generations. They know what they're dealing with, people with certain kinds of coping, certain kinds of needs, certain kinds of animal behavior to be and talk, your body language. You're a go-to person, you're a sit back and watch person, you're a laugh at this person, you're a pay money for that person, you're a person who goes for the hockey team or the football team or likes to bounce a ball really well, you're this and that. They know exactly what kind of person you are. You can't be a kind of person they don't already know you, right? They've seen a few of you over the years, and they know exactly what to do with you. They know exactly what to do with you. Now, I'm going to pause because I know this sounds very scary. I don't know how scary that really is, but just hold on. These are royal actors. And when they act, they're using their bodies in a way that gives them, like they have the most powerful use of money, which is theirs, they have the most powerful use of their body language, and so they have the most powerful use of your language, your emotions, and your brain, and your world. When you watch TV, these people are trained at such a high level